Are you ready to take a bite out of the competition? Are you looking for ideas to make your business better? Welcome to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet,
sponsored by Apple Capital Group.
At the core of every successful business, you'll find people making a difference. And with each episode of the Core Business Show, we talk with those people, examine those ideas, and explore the strategies that make them special. Now, the host of the Core Business Show, Tim Jacquet.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Core Business Show. I'm Tim Jacquet, your host. Today we will talk to America's money answer man, Jordan Goodman. If you'd like to join the conversation, feel free to call in at 347-324-3460. Again, that's 347-324-3460. Or you can go ahead and pose a question in the chat room or email us at info@thecorebusinessshow.com. Any of those methods, we will be happy to take your answers if you don't want to call in and pose the question to our guest. We're going to take a break for a moment, take a couple of words from our sponsors, and we'll be back. You're listening to the Core Business Show. I'm Tim Jacquet, your host.
You're listening to the Core Business Show, sponsored by Apple Capital Group. Apple Capital Group in Jacksonville, Florida, is a commercial lender that specializes in asset-based loans, equipment leasing and financing, invoice financing, commercial real estate loans, and asset-based financing in the U.S. and Canada. Apple Capital Group is a direct lender that lends on their private equity investment portfolio. 90% of most loans are decided within 2 hours, and vendor funding within 24 hours after documents are completed, with a one-page application. No slow no's, just a quick decision and a fast yes. To get more information about lending from Apple Capital Group, call 866-611-7457. That's 866-611-7457 to speak with one of our loan specialists. Or visit us right now at applecapitalgroup.com. Welcome back to the Core. Once again, here's Tim Jacquet.
We have some difficulties in having Jordan to join the line, but in the meantime, we're going to kind of talk about mortgages. As you know, mortgages right now is probably the lowest rates it has been for some time. I think going mortgages today is really touching almost 3%. It's a little easier to get a mortgage than it was probably a couple of years ago. I've heard people talk about and seeing that even if you didn't put 20% down, is real difficult. And some people who had putting 20% down, they still get scrutinized. Sometimes they want 30% down. So the best thing if you actually want to look at getting a mortgage, make sure you do not buy anything in 12 months before you actually take on the mortgage. Make sure that when you get ready to look at a mortgage, you plan for a whole year to look at credit things that can happen. And that's mean you go through your credit report, dispute or settle the things that you really need to settle. I think, any debts or charge-offs or any issues you have with your credit. I suggest that you be over 700 on all three bureaus, or at least not under 690. If you have a parent or a spouse that has a better score, add them as an authorized user or a joint person on the account to try to get that higher score, providing that they're under 30%. Maybe you want to target 20% debt to your credit line. So if your credit line is $10,000, you do not want to go beyond $2,500 to be safe on a balance, because the balance you're judged two ways. You judge that you're under 30% of all credit card lines on your account, and you judge if there's one particular card that's over that 30% ratio. Also, you want to look at, besides pulling those scores together, if things you can pay off, pay them off. But make sure that you have at least enough running time with it, because it really has to do with time. If you have an installment account, try to push it to 24 months so you can get the maximum benefit for that. Same, likewise, if you have a car, don't pay the car off no earlier than 24 months so you can get the full benefit of that. You get more benefit as it goes to the next 12 months and so forth. But if you have a car, the 24-month is a big deal. You really need to get to that 24-month payment before you actually look at applying. It's real simple in applying. Make sure you have your tax returns for the last couple of years. Make sure you have your bank statements for the last 3 or 4 months ready. Show no negatives. Nothing's going on. Make sure you have plenty of cash on hand that you can show that you cash flowing well. You're not spending everything that you make. So you might want to do some really fiscal tightening in that 6 months to 12 months as you look at getting a mortgage to help yourself out in particular. You want to make the process easier as possible. So if you're a W-2 employee is one thing. If you're a 1099 employee, you need to have that income for at least for 2 years solid before applying for it can be average. So they're going to take the average. You cannot deduct every single dollar because that deduction, that final deduction is actually equal to what your income is actually is. Because they're going to pull they're going to ask for your tax returns, and also they're going to pull the transcript from the IRS, which they can do pretty quickly now. You can even pull yours by calling in and get in 15 minutes. They can do the same thing, pull IRS transcripts within the day or the day of. So you want to make sure that they match, make sure that you pay taxes on the income that you actually want to qualify for. There's not a ratio of being that 3 times your income. If you're looking at FHA debt or if you're looking at a conventional, of course, they have a 3 and 5% conventional, they have a 20% that you have to pay mortgage insurance on both ends. By FHA now, you still can do 3.5%, but however, you still will have to pay for your mortgage insurance until the life of the loan for FHA loan. But the conventional, you can be on the conventional by yourself without someone being on there. If you don't want to put your other spouse on there, you don't have to. You can go with your income solely itself. However, when it comes to FHA, both incomes mean debt has to be on the FHA loan of if you're married, and they're going to take your spouse debt, but not his income, her income. So kind of keep that in mind as well as you prepare. Credit is key. Get your scores over on all 3 bureaus over 690. I would say make sure you have some thresholds in that. Now, borrowers may make a secure credit card and get those 12 payments in with sufficient credit lines and just really clean things up. And when you walk in, you have your tax returns for 2 years ready. You have your bank account statements ready for 3 months. You have your W-2s, 1099s, if you have those available for the last 2 months. You usually look at 2 or 3 pay periods, but have it for 2 months. And if you walk in with all of that, your chances to get a mortgage loan quickly, exponentially, is much favorable because they say, oh, this person is on the ball. They know what to give us when we really need it, then versus we have to chase after the person to get it. If a person, you must also show the last 3 months how you're going to put your down payment. So you want to have that in your savings account. You want to show that you're making payments to your savings account as well. And from that, they're going to show that you have proof of income to close and make the payments. So all in all, those are the suggestions I have to attain a mortgage, FHA or conventional. There's something also going around today is reverse mortgage. And you really understand on the one sense, if you are an heir and you don't want your family home mortgage, but you got to look at the condition of it as well. Reverse mortgage is what it is. The person can get the equity out of the house if there is a ratio they need to keep as well. And they have enough equity, they can reverse the mortgage. And upon the death of the couple, then the house would be put in for sale or foreclosure in one sense. But it's just be put in agreed to be sale. They usually will talk to the family, say, hey, you're going to list it in 30 days or 60 days, give you a little time to do that, to clear things out and list it for sale. They get their proceeds at closing, you get whatever the difference is. Some people say, well, I don't want to sell my family house. I've been there, but you got to really look at the condition. If it's a nice neighborhood, yeah, you want to keep it. If it's in a crappy neighborhood or a neighborhood you really don't want to stay in, really worth anything. But in most cases today, a 30-year mortgage, houses are already paid off, or they're paid off before they actually retire. But with people living much longer, the homes, really they're looking at maybe 20 or 30 years after they retire and paid off the mortgage for them to live. But you got to really judge to see what condition it is and look at the market. Is this market going to ever change? Some neighborhoods won't ever change. Some neighborhoods that have a hot area close nearby or close to a downtown district or a really high district, that may be a consideration as well. So anyway, that's my spiel. Unfortunately, we didn't have our guest with some technical difficulties, but we will have him back, Jordan Goodman. He is America's Money Answers man. So anyway, everybody, thank you for listening for the Core Business Show. This is Tim Jacquet, your host. Look forward and talking to you soon. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet. For more information about equipment financing and asset-based loans, visit our website, applecapitalgroup.com. That's applecapitalgroup.com. Or call us at 866 611-7457. We hope you'll join us for our next episode. And remember, you can always get to the core via iTunes. You'll find all our previous episodes there. And thanks again for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet.